I wanna know the daily grind. Ooh.
Oh no.
We're not going to continue. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Luke Hatmaker. Today
Oh,
is
man.
not a good singing day. As you
Mm-mm.
can tell, I was about to hit that high note, and it would have woken you up if you weren't woken up already. But that's okay. I'm not here to do that. Welcome to the Daily Grind. It's Tuesday, and I've got Rusty with me. I got him on Tuesdays and Thursdays because they start with the letter T, and you have a T in your name. That's the only thing that makes sense. But
Love
how
it.
are you, brother? You good?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you not hitting that high note. I have my AirPods in. I'm sure some of our listeners at home do. And
Oh,
like I value my ability to hear, and I'm
yeah.
afraid that note was not going to be it this morning. But not to
Nope.
say you can't sing, just today's not your day, champ.
I can't sing on Tuesdays. I
There
think
it is.
that's or other days that end in the letter Y. That's fine. Thank you for everybody joining us at home. We're back at our normal time today. Yesterday was a holiday, but thank you for everybody that tuned in. It was awesome. We are going to sort of piggyback on our conversation yesterday. Yesterday, we discussed the GG Jackson injury news and what that potentially meant for the roster, what it didn't mean for the roster. I think you and I both agree, or maybe we do. We're going. I think the most logical. Well, to me, it seems like the person who's going to benefit the most from GG sitting out, his name is going to start with the letter J. I think will either be Jake or Jitty. I think because of size, it probably will be Jake.
Mhm.
I think he's got the easiest path to it, at least. I say that, but when I was looking at it, all the advanced stats and all the advanced numbers this morning, I got really sad about it because he's gotten worse. it's kind of weird. Like as much as I thought Jake kind of showed people how much better he was, like how he could be, the numbers kind of say the otherwise. Like with more minutes and with a larger sample size, everything kind of went down, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. It is known that I've been out on Jake LaRavia. My illustrious co-host on the $2 Sports Show gives me crap about it all the time because I've been out on Jake just because, like, even in the minutes where he played, he's been hurt a lot, yes, but in the minutes that he has played, it hasn't been great. That same co-host says you don't get fired up about summer league unless someone's bad. And so Jake had a good summer league. Jake has done some things against guys that are going to play in LA Fitness this fall and not in an NBA arena. But last year, even down the stretch when he was playing, yes, he had a few good games. But like if you look at the advanced stats on it, like shooting percentages weren't great. The efficiency wasn't there. The plus minus wasn't really good because that boy don't play a lick of defense. Yep. And it's because he's wearing concrete in his shoes. Like somebody needs to tell him get them weights out of his shoes because that's what it looks like. I just, I think personally, and we'll probably get into this, you'll probably get into this later in the week. I think the person who stands to benefit the most from this first name starts with an S. Sorry, Wayno. But I think Jake will get a shot. Obviously, Climate and the front office are high on him, and they want to see him succeed. And you're right. Like, he's got an NBA body. He's a big kid. The more he plays, the worse he gets.
Yeah, and I was surprised, and he's supposed to he's supposed to be a shooter. We're talking about all these advanced stats. I'll give you so from his first year, when he was playing about 13 minutes a game, his effective field goal percentage was 58.1%, which this is all from cleaning the glass. That had him in the 83rd percentile. Last year, that dipped down to the 21st percentile. He shot the ball almost 10% worse. And like his mid-range is what dips him. I mean, he had a decent mid-range ball. Like he was in the 99th percentile from short mid, 98th percentile from all mid his rookie season, but all that dipped below the 50th percentile last year with about double the minutes. And that's just shooting. And I like defense. I was like, okay, well, maybe the defense was better. It was okay. His defense got a little bit better. So his defense got better, but that's not what we need with those minutes. Like we don't need someone who can kind of pop on defense occasionally to join that defensive unit. We need someone who can score, and it doesn't look like that's happening that much.
No, and again, the guy, like, he's got the build, he's got the frame, but we need somebody that's going to get buckets. We need somebody that's going to be able to get points for that second unit. I mean, you've got guys like Luke, and you've got BC and Santi and Vince, you're going to be able to score and that sort of thing. But we're just going to be missing that big wing presence that Gigi was going to be. They can go out and get you some jump shots and get you some mid-range and get you some drives and get to the rim, all of which Jake has clearly not done well and just I don't think is it. Again, I think the minutes we got from him last year and what we got over the summer, I've been beating this drum all summer. All he's doing is making a great highlight tape for us to send to Toronto or Detroit or Charlotte or Orlando, whoever, as a, hey, look, this guy, like maybe you can too, right? You can fix him, send us back somebody that can help us in a playoff run or help us get off this contract so we can do a three-way team deal where we can get somebody back better. I just don't think LaRavia has a spot on this team. I think he's going to play more because Gigi's out, and I think we're all going to see what these advanced stats are telling us that he ain't it.
Yeah, it very well may be the case that the season starts. It starts where we're like, well, let's see what we have. Let's give Jake those minutes, and then we find out very quickly that it just isn't what we want. I mean, because and we know TJ loves to try other things and then immediately go to John Conchar when that doesn't work.
Yes,
we know he does that, and for all that. I feel like there's not been a Jitty discourse in so long because he's probably not going to play a lot this coming season. But for all the discourse about John Conchar, he does a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. He's the world's most okay shooting guard, small forward, like whatever he is. Cause he's not big enough for a small forward. He's probably a little too big for a shooting guard and he can't shoot. Like the best thing that Jitty does is block Anthony Davis. And so as long as you're playing the Lakers, you play Jitty because he's going to get a highlight, pin a shot against the backboard kind of block. Other than that, like he does just enough where it's like, Jitty's there, but he's not going to go out and do enough to win a bunch of games.
No. I mean, if you're looking for someone to go out there and get you a bucket out of this bench unit, your best bet is probably Scottie. I was going to say Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, but even then, it's like I would say Vince all day. I think Vince is going to light it up this year. I think Vince is going to be the key piece. But if you're looking for just someone that can go to bucket, Scottie can go out there and get you a bucket.
Sure.
Luke can make a shot, but is Luke going to go and attack the basket? No.
Yeah.
It's just it's tough. Gigi did such a specific thing for the second unit. It really is kind of a bummer.
It is, man. Again, like I said yesterday, it doesn't move the needle for me as far as like what our season outcome is going to be. I think there was going to be like a learning curve with Gigi. We've just pushed that back a little bit. Now that's going to probably be over the Christmas holidays into the first of next year instead of this fall like we'd hoped. But it doesn't move the needle as far as like games we're going to win. Because you're right. I think that like Gigi was going to be that bucket getter, like, hey, like clear out and let him attack. I think Vince is still going to be that guy for me. Like I see your point with Scottie Pippen Jr. I think that can be it for the 50 games that he's up in the league. Again, I still don't think he's a huge role on this team until maybe towards the end of the year. If we sign him to a deal, whatever your outlook may be. I just think Vince is that bucket getter, man. This is going to make Vince pop a little bit more. He's kind of been that unheralded, like nobody's really talking about him. Like the only thing you've seen about him this summer was his birthday post, really from the Memphis Grizzlies. I know he's been recovering.
And your jersey.
Yep.
That's it.
I know that he's been recovering from some little ailments and stuff here and there. I just he's that guy. I think he's going to come out of nowhere for people who aren't, on the up, that don't know what the Grizzlies are about, and just have an awesome year.
Dude has the potential to be like the next Lou Will, like a stalwart 6 man of the year guy that is, not super tall, but wingspan is like a half a foot longer than he is tall. Can sink like can make a shot. Is a pest on defense. I think glass half full. This is going to clear the way for Vince to really shine. Keep building. There's not going to be a regression year like there, that learning curve with Gigi. I think Vince is just going to keep. He was the best guy we drafted in that draft class. He built on that. I just think he's going to keep doop and be that perennial 6 man.
he's going to be that guy that other teams look at and go, man, we missed on him, right? Like he's very much in that Marcus Smart mold where he is just a dog, like a tenacious defender who can go and get you 20 points if you need him to, but he is your favorite player's worst nightmare because he is going to put the clamps on him, like I said on the Anthony Sain show, with a smile on his face. Like
that's a smile, man. He's crazy.
Diabolical, man. That guy is maniacal is the word I used for him last year.
Yep.
Because, I mean, he's just a menace. Like you said on defense, he doesn't get
Dr.
tired.
Evil, dude. He's like Dr. Evil. He's out there just smiling and just like he doesn't care that he is ruining your day. He's ruining your day.
He works part-time for MLG&W. As Tony Allen once said, he's cutting your water off and smiling about it, right? Like he is absolutely going to have a monster year. And like, you know, I'm sick, Luke. I'm so sick of having to look for the silver lining or, this is going to be okay because, like, I just want us to have nice things and a healthy team, right? It's been over 1,000 days, like I said yesterday. But silver lining here, I think this is going to get that spotlight on Vince even brighter. He was in the Futures game at All-Star Weekend this past weekend.
Rising Stars.
Rising Stars. I only think that's going to continue to translate into just, like you said, like that Lou Williams comparison is huge, man. He is going to be that just stalwart six man that people are going to like drool over wishing they had.
We might, and I love when I just get ideas for the rest of the show. We're going to have a Vince episode. You and I, we're going to have a Vince episode later this week because I think we could have a whole thing about him. And
absolutely.
You said there's not a lot of people talking about him, and you're absolutely right.
So let's talk about him.
We'll talk about him. We'll start the train.
Yeah.
If the Grizzlies.
Oh, you muted. Hang on. Like glitched and then went radio silent on me. There you are.
I dropped my microphone and it was like, nope. I got so excited. So if we find out that if the Grizzlies decide that they need to go get an answer, I don't think they do. I don't think they will. We had someone in the comments yesterday. This got us so, all three of us on live yesterday, we got so like, it kind of threw a wrench in the thing. Someone, Hollywood Herm suggested Brandon Ingram. He said, I believe the Grizzlies need Brandon Ingram. No, they don't. Commodus must not be made emperor.
No.
I can't. The only thing this Grizzlies rotation needs more than Brandon Ingram on the roster is a hold to the head.
I mean,
every single one of these dudes. I would rather get Dylan Brooks back. I would rather get Dylan Brooks back than trade for Brandon Ingram.
I mean, you know, we talked on the same show. I talked about like making a trade, a splash trade, and your team getting worse. This is example A of that.
Yes,
he is a locker room cancer. He doesn't fit well in a team. He's going to go shoot the ball. So you want a guy on our team that's going to shoot the ball an average of almost 16 times a game, 18, 19 times in his career a game. That's taking shots away from Ja, Dez, Tripp. Like whose minutes and whose shots you're going to give to him. Brandon Ingram has no place on this team. I'd rather take Dylan Brack. I'd rather call up Andre Iguodala and see what he's doing. And that dude went on a tour like blasting us. Like you talk about a guy that just doesn't fit. Yes, he was a most improved player and an all-star, but that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Like a long time ago.
And he tried to be like the alpha on a Pelicans team that needed it, and he couldn't do it. Wayno's right. He fell apart in the playoffs. He's not a clutch player. He's big and he's a wing. That's the only two boxes he checks. Like there's no place on this team for Brandon Ingram.
Also, the dude's he's terrified to shoot the three ball. He's he's not attempted more than 4.5 shot threes a game since his All-Star season. Like I just don't know. And Daniel, you know what, Daniel, good to see you, brother. This is a very good point. We're going to have to give up money to get him. And there's not a single person I would want to give up to get him. Not a single person. Like nobody.
Not even Jake or Jitty. Like I wouldn't want to move them to get him. I don't want to create that room because you're right. But I mean, when you're shooting career, like you're shooting around 30% from three in those years, like I wouldn't be taking a ton of threes either because you ain't hitting them. And like the one thing that you could say, we probably need is some 3-point shooting, and Brandon Ingram, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Oh, and it's I just don't. There's a reason the Pelicans haven't found anyone to trade to trade with them yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not still on that roster because they are holding their cards close.
Mm-hmm.
They're not making the decision to wait. They're being forced to wait because nobody wants him.
It's the same reason we couldn't move Zaire and we can't move Jake or Jitty or any of these cats. It's because this ain't NBA 2K where you can force a trade through or you can do whatever you want because it's a video game. This is real life with real salary caps, with real money, implications. Ain't nobody trying to take on a contract for a guy who shoots 30% from three and doesn't know how to play on a team. And when the lights get bright, he checks out. He's like James Harden. He's looking for, what he's going to do after the game more than what he's going to do beyond the arc. And so I'm all out on Brandon Ingram on this team. All out.
Just we just talked about him in the same vein as Zaire Williams and Jake LaRavia.
Yeah.
Like this is, except he's making four or five times the money they are. It's like he is that sort of, he's become a toxic asset around the league. And it's sucks for a guy that I would have liked maybe 6 years ago, but he has not changed his game. His game has actively gotten worse since his All-Star appearance 4 or 5 years ago. And that's not good.
And Gigi's coming back. It's not like he's gone forever, right? He'll be back probably based on this medical team sometime around the first of the year. He should theoretically be back before December, but Happy New Year. You get Gigi back, whatever. Then what are you going to do? Then you're on the hook for all this money on Brandon Ingram, and you're trying to develop, like Wayno said here, we're trying to develop Gigi. What are you going to do then? Then you can't bench Ingram because you paid so much for him. Like, you got to use him. And then that's going to stunt Gigi's growth development. And then you're going to ultimately look to move him. I would much rather wait for Gigi to develop, see what you got. Again, we haven't, I've been banging this drum for the longest time. We don't know what we have. This team could be really, really freaking great at a top 7 or 8 players, right? Could be really freaking great. We don't need a Brandon Ingram. Gigi might come back to a juggernaut that is rolling, and it's just a complimentary roll to keep that snowball rolling down the hill, right? This team could be absolutely incredible, and then you screw it up with a Brandon Ingram.
This team with Zaire Williams, Xavier Tillman, and DeAnthony Melton as key cogs in their playoff rotation were the hardest series. The Warriors, which eventually went and won the title, was the hardest series they played that year with those 3 guys as serious pieces in the rotation. You're
a John Morant, Steven Adams injury away from moving on from that series and playing in the Western Conference Finals.
No question. And that's not a homer take. I don't think that's a homer take. I think you pull a lot of people from that season. And Steve Kerr said that was the tough. Everyone in that Warrior squad said that was the toughest test they had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we didn't have half the pieces we have now.
We didn't have half the pieces we had now, and Dylan Brooks decided to turn into a professional wrestler halfway through that series.
Goodness,
Sorry,
Gary Payton Jr. He tried to end your whole career, but that ain't us. That's just him, right? That don't speak for the group.
He made a heel turn live. It's fine. But sorry, Hollywood. We hate your idea.
And
we hate it.
Gigi pulled it up. He's got he's owed $36 million this year. We don't have any. You talking about you're gonna have to give up Marcus, Luke, and
Brandon.
Jake, BC, somebody. You've got to move a lot of pieces to create money for that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This ain't 2K, man.
Nope. If this was 2K, all of our team would have weird looking faces that barely resemble them.
That's it.
It'd be really weird.
And they'd have Desmond Bain as one of the as a mid 3-point shooter. Get out of here.
I need to figure out my depth because I keep trying to thumbs down and it just looks really aggressive. I need to keep it closer to my face. We're going over here. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, it's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays around here, we're going to tube a little bit, aka Game of Thrones update. I got a little taste of it yesterday. I can't wait. Oh, it's good. It's good, y'all. Okay, we're going to talk right after this break.
One of the questions as far as my writings for the Wizards was, what's going to happen with Tyus Jones? And I kind of was able to narrow it down. He had 3 teams that he was primarily looking at, and that were the Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, and the Atlanta Hawks. From my understanding, Memphis they offered him more money. Memphis offer was somewhere around $5 to $6 million. But they wouldn't have given him an opportunity to start. And I believe that was something that was really important for him.
I'm not saying that what you're saying isn't true, but I don't think the Grizzlies actually made a serious run at Tyus Jones. And at that number, I don't even consider that serious. You know what I mean?
A lot of people in Memphis didn't really want to believe that the Grizzlies were interested in Tyus Jones. And I think a lot of, from what I saw on the internet, a lot of that has to do with you guys' expectation of what Scottie Pippen Jr. is going to be. The Memphis Grizzlies very much like Scottie Pippen Jr., but I'm also here to tell you they went out and tried to get a backup point guard.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Representing your country and winning, I think I'd black out on the podium. Because when I watch these people whose names I won't remember a week from now, and they're on the podium and they have tears and I start crying because I'm like, what a moment for this person. I'm getting a little nervous talking about it right now, BK.
I would shed 3 tears.
Oh.
I wouldn't be nose running crying. Not that crying. You know, there's levels to this crying game. There's
shoulder shaking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even when the tears stop, you still like, that's when you used to get in trouble though. Your parents used to give you, that's when you used to get beaten.
You stop.
Yes, you better stop crying.
Exactly.
Put that thing on that bottom lip.
I'm not crying.
Right, yeah. I would definitely be up there. I would cry.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. You can catch our show, The Daily Grind. You can catch Night Court, catch Anthony Sane Show, which Rusty was on this past week. You can catch Bluffin'. We've got Grizz 901. We've got a lot of stuff. Tigers Untapped. If you like college sports, we're covering college here. We're covering college on the Two Buck Sports Show every Friday.
Yes, sir.
There's really stuff for everybody. We got a bunch going on. We try to keep stuff for you all throughout the day. Check it out at bluffcitymedia.co. But on our show, it's Tuesdays, and on Tuesdays around here, we tube. We talk about what we watch on television, or I guess movies. It doesn't stuff we're watching. I'll go first. The Amazon Prime has just dropped their second season. We're just kind of a fantasy realm. The Lord of the Rings show on Amazon Prime is awesome. Season 2 is vastly better than season 1. Season 1 was just kind of like slow pacing. They were like, it was like, okay. Season 2, way better. They cut out all the bull crap. It's awesome. It's kind of scratching that Game of Thrones itch, which brings me to you. Where are you at, brother? Where are you at?
So, Maggie and I talked about the Lord of the Rings series just last night because we watched real quick side plug before Game of Thrones. I'm going to deep dive on that. Yeah. We watched A Quiet Place, the new one it was on Paramount last night. Yo, it was good.
I love those movies.
I found myself feeling stuff like the other ones were like scary or whatever, but this one definitely had some like some depth to it. I thought it was really good. Maggie and I really enjoyed it last night. So anyway,
I've been itching to watch it.
Definitely worth the watch, man. It's free on Paramount if you have the app. Watch it.
Hell yeah.
So you talk about like slow developing. Episodes 1 and 2 of season 8 were very much like scene setters. There were character development. There were conversations being had. Your boy, the Wildling, Thurgood, they're at East Watch, and the Lord Commander of the Night Watch comes around the corner, and he's like, watch him. He has blue eyes.
Yeah.
Thurgood says, I've always had blue eyes. Just so many good one-liners, right? Kind of culminating in episode 3, The Longest Night, where we finally got to see the battle between the Battle of Winterfell, right?
Yeah.
You've got the Dothraki, you've got the Unsullied, you got all the Northmen except for 1 or 2 families who bitched out anyway, fighting the Night King and his army, and it was epic. Just like the whole, it begins with the Dothraki, Melisandre lights their swords as torches, and they all run out in the distance, and slowly they're all going out. It's just getting dark. And it's like, oh no, they're here. That's them. And then they come running back, scared. The Dothraki come running back scared. That's when something's up. Just an epic battle scene, and just so many
Dragons.
Dragons just like torching people. Then you got Viserion coming in with the blue flame, ridden by the Night
Dragon.
King. Yeah, it's just like, oh my God, like so many good moments, right? Like they're out fighting. Sam's on the front line. Like you had no business out there. Somehow he survives, but he's out there. You got the wildlings, and there's so many like just moments. Like Lady Mormont when say again,
Barrick,
yes, like. So many good moments where there's like Lady Mormont kills the giant while she's getting crushed. Where we talked about this yesterday, where like Thorgun and them are just like they're just slaying, and then what's Baratheon's son? What's his name?
Gendry.
Gendry are just like and they're fighting, and like the bodies that they're fighting on top of are just like piling up. You've got Kingslayer, Jaime Lannister showing up, being a good guy and fighting alongside him. You've got. Like they're pinned against the wall. Lady Brienne is pinned against the wall. It's like the Hound is hiding from the fire, but then the Patches O'Houlihan tells him, why are you scared? Look at her. Arya's up there like fighting for her life, and so he goes to defend Arya, who has the most awesome scene when she just like drops the knife, catches it. Awesome. Theon Greyjoy had a happy ending. Oh yeah, that move of just like dropping a knife. Awesome, man. Awesome. It had to be Arya with all her training and what she's been through. It had to be her. What a great episode. And we do not have to worry about the Night King anymore, as he has been eliminated. Like one of the best television episodes I've ever seen. Just like the whole time, like I'm like holding Maggie's arm. I'm leaning to her. I'm like on the edge of my seat. She's like, you were so nervous. And like at one point, I'm like, because I just kept saying, like, how are they going to win? Like, the only way they're going to win is to kill the Night King, because, like, they're raising people from the dead. The army's growing. The fighting is getting more and more intense. It's not showing signs of slowing down. We're an hour and a half in, and I'm like, it's been an hour and a half of bad news. Like, we need some good news.
Man, the episodes are so long in season 8, and that one specifically, you're like,
the whole time.
I don't know. You're like, I need something. I need something.
I kept waiting. I kept waiting on my Apple Watch to say, "Are you working out?" ? Because like my heart rate was through the roof, man. I was nervous.
So you got 3 episodes left?
So I've only got 3 episodes left of Game of Thrones. We started this in May, and we have like crushed it. Oh
my God! You guys will have it done by next week, right? You'll have to.
Probably, yeah. We'll probably watch a good bit of it this week and this weekend before college football, and so I think we'll at least we should have it wrapped up by next Tuesday.
If you have it wrapped up by next Tuesday, let me know. We might have our Game of Thrones draft on Wednesday. We might make a Game of Thrones week out of it.
There's just so many good characters and things we could draft out of that show. My goodness, man.
Yeah. Whew. Oh my God. I'm gonna put. This has become my favorite part of the summer. It's just like my summer has been filled with just getting my PTSD of you watching Game of Thrones, and it's awesome. I don't have to do it, but you have to do it.
There's still so many things left to tie up, because now and Jorah. Oh, freaking Jorah getting killed on the battlefield, man. What a set. Like the only time Dany has cried twice, and it was for Khal Drogo and for Jorah. Like, she didn't even cry when her dragon died north of the wall, but like she got so upset over Jorah, and rightfully so. I mean, what a dude. I forgot
about Jorah, man.
Oh my God, what a sad, like, died fighting and saving his queen, and like she's holding that sword, like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah. Like she's gonna do something, right? And either are hacking people. R.I.P. Jorah going out, the Lord Commander, they didn't kill as many of the main characters as I thought they would.
Same,
but Jorah wasn't enough.
Yep, Jorah was enough, because he'd been there since season 1, episode 1, episode 2 or something.
And again, up and down character, just like all of them, right? Like we were talking about this, like Tyrion and Sansa probably have 2 of the best character arcs of the show.
Yes.
But like Jaime's I
love Jaime, dude.
He's a scumbag, but like he does good things, and he's come around, and like as long as Cersei's not around, he's a good dude. Like he does good things, and like you can tell there's some morals there.
Yep.
Shout out to Lady Brienne for bringing a lot of that out, but like just the complexity of these characters is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
We will talk next week about it, because I don't want to. Oh man. Okay, good. That's gonna do it for us today.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna be thinking about Game of Thrones all week. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for everybody at home. Wayno, Daniel, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Go check out Jess Benson's show over at Grind City Media. Just started. Shelby's gonna watch.
Yeah, apparently she's fired up for Jess Benson.
She's fired up. Everybody have a good day at work. Have good weeks. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll let you know what's going on, everybody. But remember today, if I can leave you with two things, remember just to be a little weird today and remember to smile. Remember to smile. Everybody have a good one, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.